Hello YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. I am your gracious host, Phantom King X, but you can call me Phantom. Today we are talking about the PlayStation 5 announcement, while I lower Spotify. There we go. The PlayStation 5 announcement that came out today on October 8th, 2019. I am live on Twitch currently. If you want to come see me do stuff like this live, you can click the link down in the description. But let's get on to the article. I have not read any of this. We were discussing it on stream, me and my chat and my community. But I wanted to kind of read this. This is from Jim Ryan, President and CEO of Sony International Entertainment. Since we originally unveiled our next generation console in April, we know that there's been a lot of excitement and interest in hearing more about what the future of games will bring. Today, I'm proud to share that our next generation console will be called the PlayStation 5. Nobody's surprised, and will be launching in time for holiday 2020. That means we have a year. We have a year to get ready for the next update, the next generation. These updates may not be a huge surprise, but we wanted to confirm them for our PlayStation fans as we start to reveal additional details about our vision for the next gen. Wired Magazine covered these updates and more in a story that was posted this morning. The more refers to something I am quite excited about, a preview of the new controller that will ship with PlayStation 5. One of our goals with the next generation is to deepen the feeling of immersion when you play games. And we had the opportunity with our new controller to reimagine how the sense of touch can add to that immersion. Also, I'm saying this right now, it better look like the DualShock 4. I know, I don't want a scuff gaming controller. If I wanted an Xbox controller, I'd play on an Xbox. The DualShock 4 is one of the most comfortable controllers I've ever held in my life. This is not an ad, but Sony, I would love it to be an ad. Contact me. Anyway. Chat's going nuts right now. They're making memes. It's a good time. Okay, so here we go. To that end, there are two key innovations with the PlayStation 5's new controller. First, we're adopting haptic feedback to replace the rumble technology found in the controllers since the 5th generation of consoles. With haptics, you truly feel a broader range of feedback, so crashing into a wall in a race feels much different than making a tackle on the football field. You can even get a sense of variety of textures when running through fields of grass or plodding through mud. That's really cool. So they're really going for a responsive feel. The second innovation is something we call adaptive triggers, which have been incorporated into the trigger buttons L2 and R2, so they're keeping those. Developers can program the resistance of the triggers so that you feel the tactical sensation of drawing a bow and arrow or accelerating an off-road vehicle through rocky terrain. In combination with the haptics, this can produce a powerful experience that better simulates various actions. Game creators have started to receive early versions of the new controller, and we can't wait to see where their imagination goes with these new features at their disposal. While there's much more to share about the PlayStation 5 in the year ahead, we have plenty of blockbuster experiences coming your way on PS4, including Death Stranding, The Last of Us 2, and The Ghost of Tsushima. I'd like to thank all of PlayStation. So that was just their little plug. All right, so we're gonna click to this this Wired article because this was the big one, right? And I'm not gonna read all of this because we would be here for too long. So I'm just gonna kind of skim through it. The original PlayStation hit the market in '94, the year I was born. Sony's series of video games console has stuck to the numbers. No Super, no Max, no Code Red Extreme, just PlayStation 2, 3, 4. So the next one's going to be called 5. And they're super happy to tell us that. Also, it's coming out in 2020. We already know that. Here we go. Sony skipped Game Show E3 this year, a void during which Microsoft unveiled details about its own next-gen console, Project Scarlet, like the PS5. Okay, so the PS5 and the Scarlet will boast a CPU based on AMD's Ryzen line, which is what is in my computer, and a GPU based on its Navi family. Like the PS5, it will ditch the spinning hard drive for a solid-state drive. Thank goodness. So now you probably don't have to hear that fan going nuts. Now, though, in a conference room at Sony's US headquarters, Ryan and system architect Mark Kearney are eager to share specifics. When we last discussed the forthcoming console, he spoke about its ability to support ray tracing, a technique that can enable complex lighting and sound effects in 3D environments. He fears PS5 will come, blah, blah, blah. There is ray tracing acceleration in the GPU hardware, which I believe is the statement that people were looking for, end quote. With that in hand, back to the PS5 solid-state drive, which Kearney first extolled for the way it can turn loading time from a hassle to a blink. It's not just the speed that makes the SSD formidable, he says, but the efficiency it offers. Think about the hard drive in a game console spinning like a 5400 RPM vinyl record. If you are on my Twitch chat and chat, the Pogs, all this, if you're here right now, you know that my biggest problem when it comes to recording audio is my PS4 fan sounds like a jet engine because I have so many games on my hard drive. So, it's good to see that won't be a problem with the PS5. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. All of that stuff. For the console to read a piece of information off the drive, it first has to send out the disk head like a turntable needle to find it. Each seek, as it's known, may entail only a scant handful of milliseconds, but seeks to add up. Okay, so this is... They're talking about the disk drive right now, the mechanical drive. But data adds up too. If you look at a game like Marvel's Spider-Man, which I'm playing, there are some pieces of data duplicated 400 times. The SSD sweeps away the need for all of that duplicating, so not only is it raw read speed dramatically faster than a hard drive, but it saves crucial space. Thank you. This alone is like a godsend to me, because if you guys know, like chat, you guys know, and YouTube, you may not know, but if you ever visited my stream, you'll know, I have the biggest problem of I don't have enough space on my PS4 because I have games like Destiny 2 and Fallout 76 that take up huge, and I mean huge. Gotta lower that a little bit because that's an ad. You know what? No, screw it. We'll play a Spotify ad. I don't have it. I'm not ashamed. We'll play the Spotify ad, and I'll probably just cut this. Huge games, and I can only have about like 4 games on my console at a time, so that's very annoying. And now I know why. It's because games like Marvel Spider-Man have to dupe the same data 400 times. Let's see. Physical games for the PS5 will use 100 gigabyte optical discs inserted into an optical drive that doubles as a 4K Blu-ray player. So it's going to be 4K by default. Super nice. So now I don't have to get a PS4 Pro. Game installation is mandatory, given the speed difference between the SSD and the optical drive will be a bit different. Aided in part by the simplified game data possible with the SSD, Sony is changing its approach to storage, making for a more configurable installation and removal process. Rather than treating games like a big block of data, Kearney says, we're allowing finer-grained access to the data. That could mean the ability to install just a game's multiplayer campaign, leaving the single-player campaign for another time. So kind of like when you go to, like, say, install Call of Duty from the PlayStation Store right now, it asks you, like Black Ops 4 asks you, what do you want to install first? Multiplayer or single-player? That way you can get to the game you want to play right off the bat. Let's just see. And then deleting the single-player campaign once you finish it. That's really cool. Regardless of what parts of the game you choose to install and play, you'll be able to stay abreast of it via a completely revamped user interface. The PS4's home screen at times feels frozen in amber. You can see what your friends have recently done or even what game title they might be playing at the moment. But without launching an individual title, there's no way to tell what single-player missions you could do or what multiplayer matches you can join. PS5 will change that. Even though it will be fairly fast to boot games, we don't want players to have to boot the game to see what's up. Boot the games, okay. Well, I don't know why that's there. Multiplayer game servers will provide the console with the set of joinable activities in real time. Single-player games will provide information like what missions you could do and what rewards you might receive for completing them. And all those choices will be made visible in the UI. As a player, you just jump right into whatever you're doing. Hands me a prototype of the next-gen controller, an unlabeled matte black doohickey that looks an awful lot like the DualShock 4. After all, there's a little hole on it, and a recently published patent points to Sony developing a voice-driven AI assistant for the PlayStation. We'll talk more about it another time, Kearney says. We file patents on a regular basis, and like many companies. Okay. So now we're talking about the UI is really interesting because you guys know the PS4 UI is just like a dashboard. But this lets you see what you have to do, like what you're able to do in games before you even start a game. And then you can just go. So they're really leaning into the immersion, and I think that's like super fucking cool. This controller also makes me interested if they have like an AI assistant, like an Alexa or a Google, because you can use, like right now, if I took my DualShock 4, right, and I plugged my headset, which is behind me on my shelf, if I plugged my headset in there with my microphone attached, I could talk to the PlayStation. I could say, PlayStation, start application, if it's, I could say, start application, and it'll start whatever I'm, like, selected on. Or I could say, start game, and it'll start the game. But this is, like, an actually, like, integrated thing. That's nutty. So adaptive triggers, which we've talked about, make a machine gun feel far different from a shotgun. That's really cool. Haptic feedback we talked about. Improved speaker on the controller. The haptics can enable some astonishing effects. A series of demos, courtesy of the same Japan studio team that designed Astrobot Rescue Mission. Alright, so they're talking about the thing they played. Next, a version of Gran Turismo Sport. Sony ported to the dev kit for the PS5. The company refused to comment on question, blah, blah, blah. Driving on the border between the track and the dirt, I could feel both surfaces. Doing the same thing on the same track using a DualShock 4 on the PS4, the sensation disappeared entirely. It wasn't that the old-style rumble feedback paled in comparison, there was no feedback at all. Wow, so this is huge. This is super big, super fun, super huge. So this is more on the controller going back and forth. Blah, 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 blah. There are some small improvements over the DualShock 4. The next-gen controller uses a USB Type-C connector, so if you have a Google Pixel, you'll have the same charger for charging, and you can play through the cable as well. Its larger capacity battery and haptics motors make the new controller a bit heavier than the 4. It will still come in a bit lighter than a current Xbox controller with the batteries in it. So I think that's pretty much it. And then they just go on to talk back and forth about what they're excited about. So yeah, so that's the PS5 in a nutshell. Let's see if there's anything here. The fan and the hard drive are different. I mean, yeah, okay, I know that. Maybe it's the hard drive that's spinning that makes it so much fucking noise. So my moderator is criticizing me. Your PS4 is a jet engine because it's cooling itself while playing those games, you ding-dong. Yes, I'm a ding-dong. But there's realistically not many games that have multiple parts like that when you think about it. Yeah, see, Unique says hi, YouTube. YouTube, make sure you comment below and say hi to Unique. I'll be checking. I mean, yeah, I'm sure a lot of the big games like Destiny and Fallout and Apex, like they may have those multiple things. Like The Witcher might. Bad word, demonetized. No, I'm good. So sub to me on Twitch, please. Wow, look at this shameless plug from Salt. Unique, popping the link for the YouTube in case you don't know what the name of the YouTube channel is. Good job, Unique. Very proud of you. Salt is being a greedy little boy. Yeah, so I'm inherently excited for the PS5. Backwards compatibility for the PS4 was already confirmed when Mark Kearney did the initial debut. So I kid, I just want people to watch. Hey man, we all want people to watch. So it's got backwards compatibility for the PS4. That's really cool. So we know the controller looks like this. That's really cool because I love this controller. Again, I think it's one of the most comfortable controllers I've ever held. We know that it's a bit heavier, but it's still lighter than the Xbox controller. R6 Master and the Cumin. See you then. All right, see you then, chat. Or that's unique. That's not chat. That's just unique. Anyway, I'm getting distracted by my own chat. Oh, man. So, I'm very excited for the SSD. I think that that's going to be its biggest selling point, is that it's backwards compatible, which the PS4 wasn't, because the archetypes for the PS4 and the PS3 were different. So I think that's really cool. I think the controller is really cool. I like the new haptic. I'm excited to get my hands on the haptic technology and see how it feels. If that dude's telling me he can feel the difference between gravel and pavement, or, you know, like dirt and pavement on the same controller at the same time, that's nutty. But other than that, I mean, we don't know too much more. We know it's got the optical drive. We know it's got, so they're still sticking with physical games. We know the charger for the controller is USB-C, which if you have, again, a Google Pixel, that's great for you. Spam 69 in the comments. If you made it this far in the video, spam 69 in the comments so I know you watched. And I'll give you a shout out on the next stream. But yeah, overall, I'm very excited for it. I don't know if we were discussing it earlier today. I don't know if I'm going to get it at launch, and neither does chat, but I will get it. I'm going to get it. I'm not going to get rid of my PS4 because I've kept every console I've owned since I was a kid. I still have a Sega Genesis because that's the type of gamer I am. But with all that being said, let me know what you guys think of the PS5 down in the comments or somewhere on the internet. Pop into my stream Thursday night and let me know. I stream, speaking of, every Tuesday, Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every other Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find the link for that down below. Also, again, let me know what you guys think of the PS5. Are you getting it at launch? Are you trading in your PS4? I'd love to know those kinds of things. So let me know that. I'm getting tongue-tied. Down below in the comments. There, Hell's Purge just put the there we go. Hell's Purge just put the I'm getting used to this. Hell's Purge just put the link down there, and he said sub. You can listen to him. That's up to you. I'm not gonna tell you to. But this outro's gone on long enough. If you liked the video, please make sure to click the subscribe button and click the notification bell to get more notifications on when I post YouTube videos. And if you like the video and you want to see more of it, please make sure to click the like button, not the live button. I'm live. I messed up the link. Everyone's messing up everything. That's going to be it, YouTube. I will see you guys next time.